We are live. Welcome to the Buzz Pod, the first ever webcam Buzz Pod. Joining us today is a 2015 USHL Clark Cup champion, a 2016 NCAA NCHC champion and tournament MVP, a 2016 fifth round pick by the Los Angeles Kings in the National Hockey League, current stud forward on the Ontario Reign in the American Hockey League, number 21, Mikey Eyssimont. Welcome to the Buzz Pod.
Thanks for having me on, Nico.
Holy fuck, man. I'm nervous. This is cool, though. This is cool. I can get used to this.
I've been waiting for this opportunity. So
Yeah. Who's your buddy? I see you got a new buddy, a new quarantine.
yeah, dude, I'm pumped you had a Skype session first time because this is my new baby girl. Her name's JoJo.
JoJo.
She's a sheepadoodle.
What?
Oh man, I'm biased, but I think she is just such an amazing dog. She's 9 weeks, man. I got her like 8 days ago, just to quarantine with, drinking buddy, workout buddy.
God, I need a quarantine buddy like that. That's unreal.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
Yo, I got a question for you. Have you ever seen your elite prospects picture? Oh my God, bro. Bauer combo. Like Bauer helmet, Bauer cage, must be from 2010.
Dude, I've seen it. I just can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head. Is it my Thunderbird?
You play in the American Hockey League, dude. You play in the American Hockey League. Why can't they just snag a pic from Google?
Yeah, dude. I think it might be my Thunderbirds. My Thunderbirds days. We were a bit of a wagon back in the day, so I'm fine with it.
You were a bit of a wagon. That's why you didn't really give a shit about style.
No, talking about the team, Thunderbirds team.
No, I understand. You guys were a wagon. You guys had a good team. So you guys just kind of took the chirps for having bad style, or did you not get chirped?
Oh, bro, we had the worst style. We had those what do you call them? Those True Vision cages, I think they're called. Bauer cages. I mean, everyone got chirped for them. Natty Camp, we'd all show up with them, and
I think it's a Natty Camp picture actually. You had that little Under Armour necky.
Oh, we all wore the neckies. We thought we were from Canada. We loved it.
So what have you been doing during the quarantine other than cuddling with your puppy? Are you back home now?
Yeah, so I just got her about a week ago. On my way back, I drove straight through from California to Denver to see the fam for the month. But I was hanging out in Cali for the first 4 weeks of quarantine with my roommate Drake Grimshaw, and we would just we were quarantined from before, a week before St. Paddy's Day. We've been completely isolated and just, going shopping when we have to. And just, we would work out, watch movies, play video games, basically just what everyone else is doing. But truly actually trying to stay safe and just so that it's okay to go see family and other friends that, are being safe too.
Yeah, definitely. How long was that roadie for you from LA back home to Colorado?
Well, with the stop in Salt Lake City to pick up JoJo, it ended up being about 18 hours total. So yeah, I just cooked about 18 hours, but a lot of coffee and
no stops at all, to sleep.
Well, no. Just for gas and snacks at the gas station too. I think I stopped at Chick-fil-A once.
Oh, that's the only meal you got. The rest was all snacks.
All snacks, man. It was brutal.
Jeez. Talk about where you're from. You're from Littleton, Colorado. How'd you get into playing hockey over there? Is it big there?
Growing up, I was born in 1996, so that's when the Avalanche won their first Stanley Cup. Oof. And then in 2001, they won another one. So hockey just exploded out here. And after that, my dad just signed me up for a roller hockey team, and I played roller hockey. I think you played roller hockey too, right?
Yeah, I started roller.
Yeah, so same here. That's where I started, just in a warehouse by my house, a little rec league, and then got into travel roller, got on ice when I was 6 or 7, and then that's how it started. I guess I was a natural.
You were a natural, dude. We're gonna get into your natural abilities a bit later, but I actually want to talk a bit about you and your life, because you put up a pic on Insta a while back, and we've never talked about this. I've been actually saving it up for the pod. You put up an Insta pic a while back showing that you have Crohn's disease. I don't really know what that is or much about it at all. I'm sure not a lot of people do, but I thought that it was sick that you put that out there for people to know and people to see that, like, a guy like you that, like, I mean, you're having success in life in hockey. Like, you play in the American Hockey League at a young age, signed in the National Hockey League, and you put that out there for people to see and and just like show your true colors. But can you talk a bit about that and living with that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've spoke about it a few times in like interviews, and I put on actually I put on like a 5K, 10K walk and run with the Kings in the Ontario Reign last season for it, and just to kind of try to like do my part in helping. My goal is to help young athletes who deal with it. That's kind of my sector and what I try to who I try to advocate for. But yeah, so my junior year of college, or sorry, my sophomore year of college, I started to feel just really lethargic and sick, and see other symptoms which aren't so sexy and not and kind of embarrassing that at first I was really scared to talk about and even bring up to my family. So after dealing with these symptoms and them getting worse and worse over the course of the end of my sophomore year into that summer going into my junior year, and then ultimately into my junior year of college, I got so fed up with just being scared every day of how sick I was and how sick I truly knew I was in my head.
Not knowing what you had.
The fear of the unknown is the worst part about it. So that's really what I try to my message is that if you think something's wrong, get help, get checked. That's what doctors are there for. And I didn't realize that until I finally got off the ice 2 weeks into my junior year. And I couldn't skate down the ice without being out of breath. I couldn't go up the stairs at my apartment without heaving and having to lay on the couch. So I got so sick of it that I finally went in. And after a couple of days of testing, they figured out what it was. And then I stayed in the hospital for another 7 or so days. And I was just so relieved. Not that I wasn't feeling any better, but just relieved that I had gone asked for help, and my family was involved and my friends knew about it. But there was still that stigma about what it was. It was Crohn's disease. So after reading a couple articles on it, I was still just kind of embarrassed and not very open about it. And I would just tell my friends it was a blood disorder, because that's the easiest way to explain it. But really, it was these articles that I was reading that was messing me up and making me not want to talk about it. So I'm glad you asked this question, by the way. So once I realized that these articles didn't define the disease, I knew what it was. I lived with it. I wanted to really just be okay with it and just understand that it's not my fault, and it's an autoimmune disease. So what I say, it's basically arthritis is in your tendons. It's basically arthritis in your digestive tract. So my body attacks itself, and when I eat something that my body doesn't agree with. So since then, I've taken meds and I've gotten healthy, and basically I think it's helped my hockey career more than anything, because I think that I'm the healthiest guy on my team as far as what I put in my body, as far as how I treat my body. It's forced me to really take those next steps to being a pro. And as hard as that junior year was after being diagnosed, that's when I really figured everything out and was able to feel comfortable leaving college early and signing pro, I think.
That's unreal, man. I'm happy I asked that question too. But also, that was your best year of hockey. Your junior year of hockey in college hockey was your best year on the score sheet. At least you were point per game with 39 points in 39 games, and then signed your NHL contract. So I mean, I guess that did help you out. But let's go back to what we were talking about. But I want to talk a bit about your minor hockey before we get into like
Yeah.
USHL, St. Cloud, and pro. You grew up, you played for the T-Birds your whole minor hockey career. You were living at home. You were like pretty much point per game guy, a little bit over a point per game in Bantam, and then a little bit under a point per game first year U16. And then your second year of U16, you took off with 91 points in 40 games. So can you talk about maybe like something that happened there? Maybe you realize, because I feel like there's a point where kids realize like 14, 15, 16, like, oh, drafts are coming. Like, oh, like I
Yeah,
got like shit's coming. Like, is that kind of what happened with you or?
dude. I made U16 year my 15 as a 15-year-old. So
All right.
and there were guys that didn't make that team that are really far ahead in pro hockey right now. I mean, I could name names, guys that are in the NHL that didn't make the cut that U15 year, and I wasn't really expecting to, but after playing U16 as a 15-year-old, I didn't get drafted in the futures draft. I think it's called in the USHL. I got drafted in the other draft.
Phase two.
Remember?
They're in phase two. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I got drafted in phase 2 my futures year. And dude, I was just psyched to get drafted. Like I didn't really care. I saw, my buddies, Gambrell, Carlo, Olofsson, all those guys, like they're studs, dude. So dude, I was just pumped to be drafted with them and just be in the same going to camps like they are. So my next year, dude, I don't know what it was really. It was so long ago, but my U16 year,
You were an assistant captain, I'm pretty sure.
oh shit, dude, I was. Dude, I don't think I've worn an A since.
No. Yeah.
I haven't. No, I haven't. But yeah, dude, that was a fun year. That was a year that I really just I learned what kind of player I am, I guess. And dude, I had a coach, Angelo Ricci, who he's worked with. I think he works with Philly now. He was my U16 coach, and he's an absolute stud. He's a hard ass, but he's he really like taught me how to play in juniors and college and stuff like that. So yeah, I ripped it up that year and had a lot of fun. We should have won nationals my U16 year. I think it was I mean, dude, we lost. We got upset in regionals, and but yeah, I mean, I have no explanation for what happened.
You had 48 goals, man. You had 48 goals in 40 games. Over a goal per game. That's bananas. But anyway, then you go to Fargo Force in the USHL. You played 3 games like that year after. I want to ask you actually, did you ever consider major?
Yeah, man. I was I was listed by teams like Victoria and Tri-City, Kamloops, and then like back to Victoria. And I almost went there my second year U16. I almost went major junior instead of playing U16, and decided against it, with just the help of like family, friends, and like people in the hockey world, which I'm glad I did. But yeah, that would have been interesting, I think, to go the major junior route. I think that was like always my goal, kind of, because that's what a lot of Colorado kids my age would do. But yeah, ended up going the college route.
Yeah, like you went to the USHL. You had a point in those 3 games as an affiliate, and then you played your first full season, had 30 points in 58 games. Talk about like your first junior experience, if you even remember that. Like one from U16 to the USHL.
Dude, actually, that's a good story. Is my U16 year, I was like, putting up a lot of points, and Fargo was happy because they drafted me in some like late round, second phase, the year before. So they were happy to call me up, and so I was playing my first 2 games were in Lincoln as like I think I was still 15 at the time, and my first 2 games were in Lincoln, the ice box. So I think you have a ton of buddies that played there. I know that,
Yeah.
and
I played games there too.
dude, I those first couple of games, I thought I was like, okay, I'll never be able to play in the USHL, even though I would be there the next year. But it was just such an intense, like, with the playing in front of fans for your first time, where they pay for tickets, sold out crowd, the laser show at the Icebox in Lincoln. Dude, I was shitting my pants. I'm not gonna lie. My dad drove me from Denver to Lincoln to meet the team there, and he was watching. He was probably pumped, but I was, dude, I was losing my mind on the bench. And my coach, we're down like 3-2 or by a goal going like with like 2 minutes left. We get a power play. My coach puts me on the half wall. I'm like, okay, this is, dude. He puts a 15-year-old who played maybe 10 minutes the entire game on the half wall, see what he
10
can do.
minutes is a lot, dude, for your USHL debut.
Dude, yeah. So I don't remember if it was the Friday or Saturday game because I played too, but I remember going out there. I get a cross ice pass on the half wall, and all I have to do is basically shoot the puck in. Dude, I felt like my shot was just slower and I just wasn't strong enough at all. I just didn't make it to the net. I don't remember what happened, but dude, I just did not feel ready for that league. I could not. My coach put me out there on the power play, and it was a long 8-hour drive back to Fargo because I went on the bus with the team after that game. So,
dude, you want? I got a funny story about my USHL debut that involves you a bit. Nothing too crazy, but
at Omaha?
In Sioux Falls. I was playing for Omaha, but it was in Sioux Falls. Like I got called up to Sioux Falls. You were there, and I wrote it down here. So I get called up to the USHL. I'm 16 years old. I'm used to paying for my gear. Like only people in the stands are parents, like other people's parents. You know what I mean? So I see the rink like for the first time. Like when I go there, I see the rink. Yeah. Because they didn't have it the year before, right? Like when I went to the camp because I went to the Sioux Falls camp my first draft year as a free agent, and they signed me as an affiliate or whatever they do. Not sign you, they just tell you that they're putting you on the affiliate list. And then I got called up that year to the Denny or the Denny Sanford, right?
So the rink right next door, the old one.
Yeah. Or no. The tryouts were in like Minnesota, bro. The camp was held at like University of Minnesota, actually. No, that might University. What's that?
Is it St. Thomas?
No, it was at the University of Minnesota.
Okay.
I don't know why the camp was there. It's because they didn't have a rink, probably. But anyway, so when I go there, I see the rink empty, dude, and like that one seats like what, 10,000?
The Denny? Yeah, dude, like 12 or 13.
12 or 13,000. So I'm looking around, man, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do this. Like, I don't even know if I'm ready for this. Like, dude, I was shitting my pants just looking at it empty. And then I did a couple practices with you guys in the empty arena, and it was insane to me. And then game day, like when I played, I remember preparing like it felt like the National Hockey League because that rink is National Hockey League stuff.
Omaha or Lincoln?
We were playing against Lincoln, and okay. So
the tie-dye days.
Yes, exactly. So I'm nervous as fuck. First shift, I actually fell 2 times. I get on the ice during a breakout. I go to transition. I eat shit. I get up. I'm skating. I fall again in the neutral zone. Whatever. Ended my shift. And I think I fell again in my second shift. But at the end of that game, me and you had a combined 5 points and 1 tilt. You had 5 points, and I had 1 tilt.
Bro, I remember your tilt. It was right in front of our bench, man.
No, it was near the net, closer to our bench. Yeah. It was versus Osmus.
Who's it versus?
Osmus. He was small, but he was like a 20 bomb.
Yep. Yeah.
Remember that? You had a 5-point night, and I was like,
I wasn't gonna say it. I do remember that. I had 5 points.
Holy smokes, that was insane to me and I remember like it was yesterday because to me like that was such a big step in my career. And then after that, we all went somewhere and got a couple waters, and it was funny because we went to like someone's billet house, and I was hanging out with like you, who just had 5 points, so I thought like very highly of you, obviously. And then
Right.
like you
I
remember
thought highly of myself too.
yeah, obviously. And then Dakota Joshua was there, and he was drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs at the time, and
Yeah.
at that time I hadn't known anybody drafted in the NHL. So to me,
Oh,
like,
really?
well, yeah, dude, I was playing U16 in Omaha. Who would have been drafted? So playing
Yeah.
like with somebody drafted in the NHL and hanging out with somebody drafted in the NHL, I was just like, holy fuck, man, this is sick.
Yeah, dude, that Sioux Falls team was so fun. It was such a good mix of guys, and I mean, so my first experience with that team is just, I mean, I loved it from day one. So, have I told you a story about when I got traded to that team?
No.
Dude, so I was in Fargo right before the trade deadline, and we drive to Youngstown, played 2 games in Youngstown, get swamped by them 2 games in a row, drive back. That's like, I mean, dude, that was basically cross country and back. And then the next morning's trade deadline, I get traded to Sioux Falls and drive to Sioux Falls, and then Sioux Falls goes to Youngstown cross country. Play Youngstown twice, get swamped 2 times by them again with Sioux Falls. But dude, those 2 games were at my first 2 games with Sioux Falls. We were losing. We were losing both games. Each game, no one was standing for it, dude. At least 3 guys got kicked out both games, just because they were losing so bad. And I absolutely loved it, just because.
Was Chaz one of them?
Dude, of course. Switz was one of them. Jodak was one of them. Loggins got kicked out of a game. Dude, we were all getting kicked out because everyone just hated losing that bad. And that's what I was telling my parents after, because we actually, after getting swept by Youngstown twice, we had to go to Ann Arbor and play USA. And we're so sick of traveling. We're so sick of just the food. And we have to go play, NTDP.
Yeah.
So we go get beat by them like 7-3. We're just like, all right, let's go home. We have to go home. We all need a Bud Light. We just need to relax. And I called my parents. I was like, I love this. Like, we just lost my first 3 games in Sioux Falls. We're in a playoff push, but I can just tell that like this group of guys like has really bonded together without me here. And I feel like I fit in well. And I can't be happier to be here.
You knew, eh? You knew. And I knew that too, man, because that was the same year that you guys won it when I got called up, and you can just tell. And even me, man, you guys accepted me right away, like right away. Like I just said, after my first game, I chilled with the boys. The next day, played some frolf, some frisbee golf with the boys. And yeah, like that was a sick team, and everybody really took care of each other. So that,
dude, it was. I mean, you don't see that team like. That's a team you knew was gonna win, because I mean, just the guys walking into that locker room, you could just tell that everyone was so different, but everyone just like clicked so well off the ice.
But also like the rink, man, playing at that rink, like home games, man. Oh my God.
True, dude. That was like the Denny. I think we averaged more fans that year than the Panthers did, is what I read.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. Don't jab at the Panthers. But so you go to Sioux Falls, you win the Clark Cup. You actually had in 12 playoff games 7 goals and 9 assists for 16 points. And did you not get playoff MVP after that performance?
No, Loggins got MVP. He had 16 points as well, and I think they were like mostly goals. But yeah, it was me, Loggins, and Jodak on a line, and dude, that kid earned it, man. He was like, I mean, lights out. Some of the goals he would score off like a face off at center ice. You just kick it to him in the zone.
Motherfucker, man.
Yeah, and yeah. I mean, no one saw that coming for playoffs. Everyone knew how solid he was, and I loved playing with him at my however many regular season games I played with him. But dude, playoffs, he was an animal. I could not believe it. I loved playing with him.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that kid was he was small, but he was so gritty and good. After that season, you go on and you go to St. Cloud. So you're playing university hockey right now, or you're a freshman. Talk about like your first, I don't know, impression on St. Cloud. What's it like? I know it's in Minnesota. That's pretty much all I know. Is it a big school?
It's medium size. I think it's like 16 to 18,000. And dude, I first got just touched on just St. Cloud. It was such a sick school to go to as far as the community and the campus. It's a blue collar college, 100%. But dude, it's so fun. Like, I mean, I went there a couple times in the summer, and just welcome weekend. Dude, it's like it's a party school like no other. Very underrated. It doesn't get talked about much, but people who know it, they know how fun St. Cloud is, and everyone makes memories or they don't at St. Cloud. It's like it's such a sick school, dude. And so that was my first taste of it because the college hockey was you don't pull up to college
And start hockey.
your dorm and then hockey starts. It's like college is very different. You go there, you get big, you get strong first, then the season happens, and then you stay big and you work out more and stuff. So those times where you have to like just be a student and be a freshman, I wasn't a senior, but just those times where you're
Be a
not in
college.
season. Those are the best times at school, dude. Like you're hanging out with your roommates, you're rollerblading around campus, after hours, like just having a hell of a time.
Did you guys have
But
a
yeah,
hockey house?
dude, I know there was a hockey house, but I always lived with in the dorms my freshman year and then a couple of roommates my sophomore and junior year. In an apartment. But dude, I mean it was everything's so close there. It's a small town outside of Minneapolis. Everything's close, and it's easy to stay out of trouble there because you're still out of the city and not in the limelight like you would be if you're a Gopher or a Sioux. So
Right. And do they have other Division One sports over there?
I think they had Division 1 like women's track and men's track, but I think that was it. And
Ball and
I think
basketball.
yeah.
So you guys were the big man on campus. Big dog.
We pulled in the most fans. We like were kind of definitely a staple in the city as a whole, not just the campus. People came to the games for sure.
And that year, your freshman year, you put up 33 points in 40 games. You guys win the NCAA championship, and you get MVP as a freshman. And then you get drafted to the Los Angeles Kings in the 5th round. Can you talk about that whole season, like as a whole? So you obviously loved college, you excelled your freshman year, and then can you talk about like the whole year and then talking to NHL teams and then like the process of the draft and your draft experience?
Yeah. So to just put it, I guess, just long story short, my freshman year, I had 4 points going to Christmas. I'd scored my first goal and had 3 assists. And then when I got back from Christmas break, we get a long Christmas break, so we got 10 days. I went home. I felt refreshed. I recharged. I didn't miss home anymore when I came back. I was like, okay, nothing's changed there. I'm ready to, do well in school and just play hockey. So I got put on a line. I think we played ASU for their first games out of conference and had a sick weekend. I put up some points and then, dude, I ripped it up my next that second half of my freshman year was like the most memorable half a season in hockey I've ever had. And I got to play with some awesome line mates, some older guys, some vets in college who helped me a ton. And Kali Kosola, Patrick Russell, those are my line mates, like my whole second half of college hockey. And the phone started ringing, obviously, for some pro calls. But the same thing had happened in juniors. When I was in Sioux Falls, I was getting calls too before the draft, and nothing had happened. So at that point, I didn't really care. I just wanted to play my college career and then sign pro after. But it just got so real and so serious that I just kind of just was completely honest with myself and the teams, and that I just wanted to play hockey and really just. I think that second half of college, my freshman year, I really stopped caring about any points or anything. The only thing I cared about my second half of college was just having fun playing hockey, being with the team, and winning. And that was it.
As long as, that's what you're about when points start coming.
It is, dude. The less you care, it's like the more points you get. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but college second half was like, dude, I'd just be hanging out with the roomies, like loving life and just
going to games and scoring goals.
Yeah, dude, it was such an awesome time, and we had such a good season. We were stacked that year, and and then that summer came by. I got drafted by LA. Went to camp, and that was it. But huh?
Did you go to the draft or no?
No. I watched it in this house with my family. I knew I was getting drafted. I didn't know where exactly, but I tuned in and just I think it was just in my sweats watching the draft with my family. My name went across the board. It was a sick day, dude. Like one of the best days of my life. But felt no need to go or do any of the festivities.
So you go to your first ever pro dev camp, an NHL dev camp. I know you had a bit of a different experience than everyone else because not everybody has a roommate that's just straight from Congo, an absolute animal, Bakanji Imama. I heard you were a bit scared.
Dude, I don't know if I was scared, but when I showed up to the hotel for my first dev camp, I asked the hotel lobby clerk, so who's my roommate? Because there's a few names I knew on the board that.
She's like,
Bokanji Imama. I'm like, oh, shit. All right, who is that? Who is that?
Excuse me, can you read it again?
I get in the room. It's like early morning, and then I'm in there till like 4 p.m. Boko Imama shows up. You imagine not knowing Bokanji Imama, and he pulls up into your hotel room and says, "What up?" I'm like, "Yo, what's up?"
Like, you're like, "What's up, man? You want to put both beds together? Take them both. I like the floor anyway."
Yeah, like I'm good on the floor. Much. I don't eat much. I don't need anything, dude. I could not believe how big of a beauty he was. I mean, and I have French Canadian friends who I grew up with, and he was just like any one of them. Dude. He's such a nice guy, like relaxed, easygoing. Like I was the hard ass in the room, not him. It was like if you know Boko, you wouldn't expect it, but he is like from day one, just the biggest beauty, probably one of the biggest beauties I've ever met.
Yeah, definitely, by far. By far. That's hilarious, man. That is so funny that he was your first dev camp roommate. So can you talk about like that whole experience at dev camp?
Sorry?
So can you talk about that whole experience at dev camp?
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, honestly, dev camp sucks, dude. It's like
I heard that. I heard it's absolute bagger.
Yeah, it's a bagger. I mean, LA's they try to make it fun and they try to make it, you do get better at hockey and you improve on things you need to improve on, and it gets you ready for later in the summer when you start skating more. But a lot of guys, including myself, don't go into dev camps like skating a lot. Like it's been a while for me. It's like there's not much ice or not much like coaches like coaching. So for a guy from Colorado, it was like I haven't been on the ice. I've been on the ice maybe twice since the season's ended. So this is tough for me. Like I'm like I don't feel good skating, and I got all new gear. So, but by the end of dev camp, you feel good and you're trying to turn heads and ultimately make a team someday. So as far as hockey goes, it was tough, but you ended up feeling good by the end of camp. But camp goes in LA. When you go to LA Kings camp, you're going to Hermosa Beach, you're biking on the Strand, you're tanning, you're going to the pool, you're hot tubbing with your buddies at night.
I'm telling you the dream, man.
Dude, we went to my last or was it that? It was either I only went to two, so we went to Post Malone for dev camp during dev camp. Yeah, we went to Post Malone at the Hollywood Bowl during dev camp one year. Me and a few guys, and dude, it made dev camp so worth it because we worked our asses off. You wake up every morning. It's like you feel like you're in the army. You're like, let's go, let's make a team. And one night we just said, screw it, let's go to Post Malone at the Hollywood Bowl. And dude, it was so sick. Like Sway Lee came out, Justin Bieber made a surprise appearance. 21 Savage out there, dude. It was like such a sick show. It made dev camp so worth it. I loved it.
I've seen those dev camp schedules because one time I had a buddy that was at Florida Panthers camp and he sent me his schedule and holy fuck, man, it's legit it's like video gym ice, video gym ice.
Video in July. It's tough.
Yeah. That sounds tough. So let's skip to your junior year of college. You light it up, point per game, 39 points in 39 games. You sign your first NHL contract. How are you? And you get called up for a couple games in the AHL. Your first AHL game, you're going to talk about that call-up, but I got some inside scoop that your first AHL game, you had a little welcome to the league hit. So
two of them. Okay, so first off, my junior year of college, it was tough because I was so out of shape the first 3 months. I just got diagnosed. I didn't do anything for a month and a half. I missed the first few games of the season, actually. And slowly just my coach progressed me into everything. At first, I was only doing power play and a little bit of penalty kill, no 5-on-5. And then by the end of the season, I was completely healthy. We got upset to Air Force anyway, and I signed pro. I decided it was time for me to sign pro. So, yeah, I signed pro. I go into the my first experience as a pro hockey player for as a black ace, they call it, with the Ontario Reign, and which is in California, not in Ontario.
Yeah,
that's Canada. Yeah, I have to mention that. So I'm chilling by the pool, tanning, going into LA with the other black aces, having a grand time. But then the practices are the hardest thing I've ever experienced as far as just a casual day goes. And we're doing a drill in practice, and I run over a tire. I hit a tire with my skate like this. Hit the tire, fall over. Coach, I expect the coach to be like, hey, go again. Instead, he just rips me a new one for hitting the tire. He's like, you got to get your head up. You have to play pro hockey with your head up or you're going to get destroyed. So I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. I agree. I've grown up. I always need to know I have my head up. And puts me in the next game. I'm not, and I get absolutely demolished. We could ask Boko. I can't remember who it was. Get absolutely demolished. And instead of coming to the bench and getting hey, are you okay? It's we told him he hit the tire in practice. He didn't have his head up in practice. He doesn't have his head up in the game. He's going through the neutral zone. He's gonna get blown up. So I'm like, all right. I head up. That's the main thing in this league, I guess, is just make sure you have your head up.
You're just head up.
So, and then it happens again, man. The next game, I get called in another game. I get absolutely demolished again. I'm like, okay, this coach is never gonna put me in again if I keep getting hit like this.
He's just looking at you, smiling, head up.
He's like, I told you. What did you want me to? What did you expect? You hit the tire. You got hit. You got hit again. So yeah. So I just and then I go into the summer and I train my ass off, dude. I trained my ass off. I knew what it took. I was like, okay, I need to be a lot bigger and stronger. I need to take this off ice stuff more seriously. I need to eat well. I have Crohn's, and ultimately, I think that all that stuff just combined just has really just helped me just create like a blueprint for how I want my off seasons to look and how I want my day-to-days to look. And dude, so I got to give you a shout out for your fitness page that you have going, because dude, a lot of that stuff that you've posted, especially early on, just getting me going for the quarantine, has honestly truly helped me, like just like forced myself to do things in April and coming in May here to stay fit and stay strong, because it just makes those harder workouts in the gym later in the summer easier, because or else you're gonna get demolished. So I gotta give you a shout out for those, dude. I've been doing them.
Oh man, I love to hear that. I see you liking them. I just don't know. A lot of people like them and don't do it, so I'm not sure, man. But I love to hear that you're getting them done. That's
No, dude, I hit this core, is that leg, dude. It's good. Those workouts are good.
The hip stuff, man. The hip stuff. That's my favorite thing right now. Is just like I'm trying to do little things that I've never done. Yeah. But so talk about like now you go back, you're playing your first pro year and like you're living the LA lifestyle, because you guys, like you said earlier, you play in Ontario, but you guys live on Manhattan Beach on Hermosa Beach. So you guys are living like the LA lifestyle. Like, can you talk about, you're from Colorado, you played in St. Cloud in Minnesota, but like nothing like Los Angeles.
No, so Los Angeles has been like it's been such a dream, and having hockey and practice to do has been, I actually really like it being in LA, going to practice in your shorts and t-shirt and in December is like so nice. But the team I've had has been really cool, because there's a lot of guys around my age on my team, and they're kind of into the same sort of things that I am. So we explore LA, we do the things in the city, Hollywood, Melrose, Beverly Hills, all that stuff. We go down on weekdays, and we experience the nightlife, and we just try to take it all in, because LA is like, dude, it's such a sick spot to like just experience in your 20s, especially early 20s. So we've done a lot of stuff that there is to do there, and it's so different, man. Like coming, like it just, I think after living in LA for a year or more, it's hard to move anywhere else. Like you're in Miami, so you get it.
Yeah.
But it's fast paced. It's it's hard to relax in the city if you want to do things. So it's nice to come home to places like Denver or Minneapolis, where I usually live in the summer, and just kind of relax and getting back into your own rhythm, because LA is a fast-paced lifestyle if you want to do everything there is to do, but it's so fun, and I love living there, and I really love California and LA. It's sick, dude.
Yeah.
You've been there.
Yeah, that's actually what I want to get. I want to get into that. When I went to visit you guys, I went to go visit Boko. I stayed with Boko, and I was chilling with you guys pretty much my whole time there.
Bro, I'm living in that place this summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm going back in like a few weeks. I'm gonna be living in Boco's pad for the summer.
Yeah. That's a sick pad. Right on the beach. But you got a place on the beach also, same location pretty much. But yeah. So what I loved about over there is that like I found that you guys as a team, because like when you think of the AHL, it's like what you hear. I mean, it's like pure competition, obviously, because it's like you're trying to get called up to the NHL. You're trying not to get sent down to the coast for some guys, and then there's always guys coming up from the coast, guys coming down from the show. So like you're just, most of the time it's like pure competition. But what I loved about you guys when I was there, like I got to watch a couple games, and I got to even go out with you guys as a team, because it was a team party, so like everyone was there. And I loved the fact that like you couldn't tell, man. You couldn't tell that it was like an AHL like super competitive, like everyone's trying to take your own spot type of thing, because like guys were really looking after each other. Like older guys were chilling with 99s on the team, like guys that are younger than me, and these guys are like 35. They're hanging out with them, like talking about life, like giving life advice, giving pro advice, like just like helping each other out, just kind of being like a real team, a real family. Like karaoke, had a real fun night and everything. Even I felt like a part of the team there, honestly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so can you talk about like that whole experience and having that tight knit group, like as your first pro team?
Yeah, I just want to say that when you hear about guys signing early in college or going pro, and then people say it's not the same as juniors, it's not the same as college. Everyone's competing against one another. They're trying to steal each other's spots, and no one gets as close. That's all true in a way, but it's also, dude, you're a human being, and you want to go to a Christmas
You just
party.
broke up a bit.
Oh,
Sorry, you just broke up for a sec. So you said that it's all true to a sense or something. You said it's all true, but
no, yeah. So it's all true that you're all competing with each other for a spot on the team. You're all trying to be your best athlete. You're not getting it. You don't want to get as close with guys because you're competing with them. But also, it's like, dude, you're a human being, and you want to like. You're in a work environment where you're trying to better yourself, and you don't just want to have like good people around you. And I think that's what we had was just good teammates and good people on the team. Especially, and it starts with guys on the older guys, like our captain Brett Sutter, and he doesn't stand for any like negativity or cancers on the team. So like that, it was really eye opening because he runs the team, whether you agree with it or not. Our captain Brett Sutter, and whatever he says, you follow, and it's all about positivity and just trying to make playoffs. Honestly, it was his main message all the time, and because making playoffs benefits everyone, individually, and it benefits the team. So that was always our goal, and it sucks that our season got cut off. By this pandemic. But when you were there, like you saw like how close we were, and when you're not at the rink, we're not at Toyota Sports Center. It's not about hockey. It's about being healthy, taking care of yourself, self-care, and really just enjoying life. So we would, go out being in LA was easy. We'd go out and do things like go to Ponchos and have some margaritas or do some karaoke, have a Christmas party. We'd go shopping all the time.
Oh, definitely. The boys got their fresh contracts, everyone.
We thrive. We thrive out there, and it's healthy, and it's important what we do outside of the rink there, because you can't just live in LA and play video games and be a hermit crab the entire time. So absolutely. You saw that side of us, and dude, it's so sick, that lifestyle. Like it's.
I also find you said it like is really important about like when you're off the ice, you try to just be healthy, and like I feel like part of mental health is just like being with the boys, having friends, like and having real genuine relationships with your friends. So like at the end of the day, even if you're competing for spots like on the ice and stuff, like you do grow friendships. Like I mean, it would be impossible not to.
100%, dude. Like I would. Me and Boko, we'd fight to the death for a spot at, a big contract, but like also we realize that we're honest about it. And it's honestly, I've never laughed so hard with someone. I've never, I've never laughed so hard with someone in my life than Boko. And that's the guy, that's my age you compete with for a spot, but like, that's my boy, dude. I'll root for him no matter what. And like all my teammates, especially the guys around my age, that like those are my boys for life, dude.
Yeah, I love to hear that, man. I love to hear that. Let's talk a bit about this season. Got cut off early, but before it did, you had 28 points, 8 points more than last year already in like more than 5 less games. You had a couple fights this year, which I love to see. What's that all about? And I mean, everybody loves to see a guy that's not a fighter fight. It gets me a nice hard on.
Yeah. No, dude. Yeah, I'm not a fighter, man. In the USHL, I had a couple. I think I was 1-2. I think I won 1 and lost 2 in my USHL career. college, no fighting. And then juniors, dude, I wanted to stand up for someone so bad. I wanted someone, I wanted to be able to like stand up for a guy that got hit. But really my fights were just all about just being in the moment and just like being pissed and after a whistle and just fighting. That's how they ended up being. I don't know why. I guess I'm just a crazy just asshole. But
And how'd you do?
I kicked some asses. I kicked some ass this season. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
You kicked some ass this season.
Dude,
So you were fighting first liners.
I was fighting who?
First liners.
Dude, I was trying to fight some guys that would get some minutes and stuff, and obviously Coach Stutz loves it and respects it, and it's still a part of the game no matter what anyone says, and it's got to be done, and I'm happy to do it. And I think that learning about fighting, from guys like you, guys like Boko, guys like my trainer Jeremy Clark, those guys are it's more about the team than just about getting someone in the chin and knocking them out. Yeah. So I honestly, I love that part of the game. I don't think that part of that side of the game is ever going to leave pro hockey. And, I think I had 4 fights this year, and I can see myself having, 2 to 4 more fights next year for sure.
Fucking right. I love that. I'm going to have to look those up after this pod. Right after this pod. That's what I'm doing. Can you talk about like what's maybe, I mean, run us through like a game day. Like what's a game day like for you? Like we've heard it from Boko what it's like there, but like that was a while ago, and also I want to know your superstitions and stuff like that if you have any.
Bro. Okay, well, if you talk to Boko about my pregame or about his pregame, mine's basically the same thing, because in Ontario we do day hotels. We drive out to Ontario in the morning, we skate, and then we nap at the day hotel, and then we go to the game, and then we play the game, and then after the game we drive back to our homes. So we're only in a hotel for like we're actually in a hotel during the day for our home games, and with a roommate, and we nap with our roommate. But no, I have no superstitions. I have no rituals, because everything's
You go back to that have fun thing that you did in junior, that you did your junior year. I'm saying.
Exactly, man. If I want to nap, if I'm a little tired that day, I'll close my eyes and I'll fall asleep. If I'm not tired, then I'll stay up on my phone. I'll watch some hockey highlights. I'll go on my laptop. But I have no my superstition is not having a superstition. I think that as long as I just eat lunch, if I'm tired, I'll probably pass out. I think I pass out probably like 70% of the time. I'll sleep for an hour, 2 hours. But sometimes I'll just be like, I'm not tired today, and I'm not gonna nap, and I'm just gonna snack and watch YouTube and hang out. And then once it's time to throw my headphones on and shower and get ready for the game, then I'm going to. But dude, literally no rituals besides once I get to the rink, I have a coffee, and I'm DJ in the locker room. I spend a lot of time on my phone, actually, when I'm at the rink, and then on airplane mode, and
Obviously.
then puck drops and I play hockey, and that's it. That's literally it, dude. And I don't have any sort of ritual in the least.
So you just broke my stigma of skill guys have a lot of superstitions, but that's awesome. I love to hear it.
I tape my stick on the ice, on the bench.
Taping your stick on the bench is skill guy move.
I wax it and I scissor it like this, and then I play. That's it.
There it is. There it is right there. There it is right there. All right. So last thing, I want to know if you have any funny on or off or both stories that you can share for us on the pod that you can think of from any point in time in your career.
Dude, I could use a heads up for this one. Yeah, dude, college was probably like one of the most eventful times in my hockey career as far as like stories and just creating memories, I guess. Uh, but yeah, there was one time in college that after I'd been diagnosed with Crohn's and stuff, I was staying home, I was working out, I was like hardcore, like on a regimen, eating well, eating just basically eggs, toast, potatoes with no seasoning, and water, maybe orange juice to try citrus and just adding things in. So that time in my life, my junior year, my job after the games was to drive guys to the bar. So I'm like everyone after the game, they're like, let's go, boys, good sweep, dude. We were nasty that year. We were so good, and so I drive guys to the bar, and it's like a 4 minute drive, if that, from my apartment or their apartment to downtown, and so one time, we win the game, we sweep. Everyone goes crazy in college after every sweep, and we all pile into my car, and I'm like, all right, boys, like I'm happy to do this. Like I can't because I'm on all these meds and stuff. So I drive them to the, downtown, and um, I'm driving to, more guys than I should downtown, and lights lights go on behind me. The police are pulling me over. I think it was I had an old Ford Explorer in college, so I think the light might have been out, my brake light, and they're just pulling me over to tell me. I'm hoping at the time, and so I pull into the small downtown, the hotel. Everyone can get wherever they want to be from that hotel. So I'm like, all right, guys, everyone, shut the hell up! Like, I'm pulling to this hotel. I pull over, and all of a sudden, the door, the trunk door of my Ford Explorer just cracks open. And when people hear the crack in my car, I think there's like 8 people in my passenger seat to the back of my car. They all sporadically just book it in my car. So I'm just sitting in my car and I'm just watching the glass break. I'm just watching everyone just disperse from my car. And I'm sitting there in the front seat. I'm like, all right, what's gonna happen here? I'm literally outside a hotel lobby.
The cop's behind you?
Huh?
The cop was like behind you this whole time while the guys left?
Yeah, yeah. So the cop, she, comes up to my door. Everyone spurts out away. They all end up at the bar somewhere. I have 2 broken windows in my car, and I'm just sitting in the front seat. She probably thinks I'm like, I don't even know what she thinks.
Broke 8 guys out of prison.
Exactly. Like she probably thinks I did something like that, and she comes up to my window. She's like, "So what's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know why everyone just, I don't know why everyone just left, but maybe some people weren't old enough to drink a beer. I don't know, but I am just sitting here. I'm 21. I'm sober, and I'm just whatever. Just give me a ticket. My windows are broken. I'm in front of this hotel. I don't know what I did wrong exactly, besides have too many people in my car, but whatever happens, happens." And there's shattered glass all over the parking lot in front of the lobby. And she's like, "You know what? I think I'm just gonna watch you. Sweep this glass up, throw it away in the trash can, and then I'll go." So I'm like, okay. So I go into the lobby. I'm like, "Do you guys have a broom?" And they're like, "Yep, we got a broom." And they knew I needed a broom, so they give me a broom. I sweep up all the glass from like 8 people, 9 people, and I just sweep it up from my car. And I drive my car home. The cop says she says, "All right, you're not allowed to drive that many people." She tells me exactly what I did wrong. It was nothing crazy, and she just trusted me that I was a good person. But dude, that story was like I had never almost like shit my pants more than like when my back window gets kicked out like this, and 3 people, like like a boy and 2 boys and a girl, like fly out of my back window and go flying into a bar, like with no composure at all. And I'm just sitting there. I know she's coming up to my front window at some point, and I just have to explain all of this to her. So
That's
dude,
an
like,
unbelievable story right there.
dude, I was like, I hope this is the only time a story like this happens to me, but they happen, man. So
That's a tough go if I ever heard one. What'd you do with the Ford Explorer?
tough
Did you get
goal.
it fixed?
I had 2 broken windows. A couple of my teammates pitched in that were in the car and helped me, for whatever reason, get new windows, taken it to a shop, and that was it. And forgot about it.
Fucking right. Well, bro, thanks for coming on, man. It was unreal. I hope this thing works. I hope we can get this out to people like through video with the video. If not, we'll do it with the voice. But thanks for coming on, bro. It was unbelievable.
Dude, anytime, man. Thanks for finally having me on. It was sick.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, I'm gonna